ടിബറ്റിന്റെ ആത്മീയ ആചാര്യനും നൊബേൽ സമ്മാന ജേതാവുമായ ഹിസ് ഹോളിനസ് തെൻസിംഗ് ഗിയാത്സോ ദലൈ ലാമയാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മോടൊപ്പമുള്ളത്. നമസ്കാരം. Tibet is going through a tough time. More than 70 Tibetans have self-immolated since 2009. As a spiritual leader, how do you react to this?
Indeed, very, very sad. Very sad. Now we must think what are the causes and conditions. Cause last 50, 60 years, and particularly after 2008 crisis, the immense suppression. Almost now, since then, after 2008 crisis, you see, Tibetan way of life, you see, fully sort of controlled, and way of thinking. So that's why you see these people really feel desperate sort of their life. So they choose that shorten their life. It's indeed very, very sad. But you see, since last year, this start, I express now Chinese government should investigate what is the real causes of this problem, this symptom. These things, not mad people or drunk people, no the family problem. So and the Chinese officials always always choose easier way. That's all these things due to me, blame on me. If that blame everything on me, it really help to reduce this tension, then I'm happy. Every blame, okay, but that won't help. So now I always see describing or expressing. Now, as things are being stated, seeking truth from fact. So simply it's a rhetoric sort of word, repeat, won't help. So must seek the truth from fact.
As you have rightly said, China has accused you of inciting these immolations to promote separatism.
Yes. Even 2008 crisis, even Prime Minister Wanjabo, usually you see he more realistic, looks more sort of open-minded. But he also, you see, blamed 2008 crisis start from India, from we. Then immediately I express, then please send some officials, some media people, come to Dharamsala and check thoroughly all our sort of files, and also see my talk to Tibetan, who usually is coming from Tibet. I usually meet them and talk, give some talk. So all record there. So please check everything. But no one come.
As Your Holiness have hinted at the beginning, self-immolation, it's a kind of violence. Does it mean that the people of Tibet who are in exile or those who are inside Tibet, they are hopeless about free Tibet?
Oh, that is very, very difficult to say. Firstly, this moment, very sensitive political issue. The Chinese always blaming on me. So whatever I say, they immediately blame on me. If something useful blame on me, then I'm happy. But no meaning, no help. So I prefer keep quiet. Then secondly, so I already retired political responsibility since last year, completely. Not only my own retirement, but also almost 4-century-old tradition. Dalama institution automatically become head of temple and spirituality. Now that ended. So real boss is people of Tibet, inside Tibet. They are my boss. So morally, I cannot sort of say you should do this, you should not do that. No. And then also, if I have something to offer them, if they stop, if they do certain things, if I have some sort of ability to offer, nothing.
Chinese leadership has changed. Do you expect a policy change towards Tibet in the near future?
A new guest without a proper invitation has come with gun. So that's the problem. That's the source of problem. If this new guest truly acted as a liberator, then welcome. But the reality lasts 60 years. You see, the guest, once they settle everything, they control. Tibetan way of life, you see, they try to control. The most important, we Tibetan, we have quite rich sort of cultural heritage, including our language, our script, and Buddhist knowledge. Now these things, you see, these narrow-minded Chinese officials try to control. I always say 1.3 billion Chinese people have every right to know the reality. Once they know the reality, they also have the ability to judge what is right, what is wrong. So censorship is immoral, fooling their own people, carrying name of people's government, but actually fooling their own people. It is immoral. Then also, once the Chinese people have the opportunity to access the reality, the Tibetan issue within a few weeks can solve, few days can solve, since we are not seeking independence. We are trying to find mutually agreeable solution. The present situation, whether Chinese government admit or not, there is problem. That is neither good for Tibetan nor to Chinese government. I think the Tibetan issue is, I think, one of the factors to create a very bad image of People's Republic of China. China can take important constructive role on global level. In order to carry constructive role on global level, trust, respect from rest of the world is very essential. So the leadership have to think these lines. Then also the world's trend is democracy, rule of law. So no matter how powerful People's Republic of China, it cannot go this way. World go this way, they cannot go that way. So for their own interest, for their own long-term interest, they have to find more realistic way. I think new leadership, I think, you see, may sort of think seriously about voice of many Chinese intellectuals.
Do you expect more support from the international community for the cause of Tibet?
Basically, now Tibet issue, now over 60 years, since 59, now 50 years passed. And the People's Republic of China, economically, very important. Therefore, automatically, politically also important. In spite of that, the concern, support, I think different part of the world, still I think quite strong. Quite satisfied, quite satisfied, quite satisfied. But still, of course, not easy, very complex issue.
From India's part, what do you expect more?
Wonderful, since Pandit Nehru, and particularly in education field, really. Then political issue, political side, this is sometimes government of India also has to find some limits, some limitation. But in spite of that, this is government of India and also I think due to the public sort of the public and medias and many thinkers, and including retired army general and retired some high officials. You see, they from time to time, in form of articles or sometimes to say express, say in public meeting. So therefore, the government of India really, I think, help maximum way.
I have heard Your Holiness saying that you were too relaxed when you have handed over the political power to the next generation. But when this Tibetan issue, it remains so unresolved, was it too early to hand over the political power to the young people?
Now, previously, since many years, I have strong sort of feeling a Tibetan struggle relying on one person is not good. This is people's struggle, not Dalai Lama's institution. As far as Dalai Lama institution is concerned, 69, I officially stated, formally, officially I stated, the very institution of Dalai Lama should continue or not up to Tibetan people. It's not my concern. Since my childhood, I found a lot of drawbacks about our existing government system. Therefore, I took the power, political power, 1951. Then 52, I start reform committee. In 60, we start work for democratization. Then about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I already decided our political leadership should come through election, not my appointment. Since then, my position is semi-retired position. Then last year, I felt now time come completely sort of handed over all my regiment authority. I should retire completely. And then basically, philosophically, world belongs to humanity. So therefore, I implement wholeheartedly. Now I am very happy. So when I handed over, you see, the almost nearly 4-century-old tradition, Dalai Lama's power, to hand it over, I feel, that night, formally, officially handed over, that night, I had unusual sound sleep. So I really feel very happy, very proud.
And talking about the Tibetan youth, do they really understand your middle way path for full autonomy to Tibet?
I think a majority of member of the youth organization, I think they understand. But some leaders, of course, you see, out of their sort of what's the determination, and also emotional, much emotion. You see, sometimes their expression, you see, looks, independence and the autonomy is already, you see, up to our choice. They easily take independence or take autonomy. Looks like that. Not that case. And also, realistically speaking, Tibet materially very, very backward. Every Tibetan wants modernized Tibet. So for that reason, remain within the People's Republic of China. As far as material development is concerned, it's our own interest. Provided we should have meaningful self-rule or autonomy.
We have found that more Chinese, they are coming to you in secret. Can the government suppress spirituality or the...
Every week at Dharamsala, my place, every week some Chinese from mainland China come to see me. Most of them Buddhist. When we met, many of them tear. very faithful Buddhist. Then, for example, beginning of this year, I performed one important Buddhist teaching at Bodh Gaya. More than 1,000 Chinese from mainland China came. And also, I think, several thousand Tibetan from Tibet. And unfortunately, after they returned, all house arrest and got a special sort of what's the lesson of political education. These are meaningless. Like that, it happened, unfortunately, like that. But then sometimes it's very confused. Some say, oh, they have some connection with higher officials. But that we really don't know. Sometimes they disguise and come. So we really don't know. And some you see people, not only Chinese, but some other people also you see fond to tell us, or they have something can do. Oh, but I'm skeptical. Some people, you see, take some advantage. That mysterious level, mysterious factor, you see, takes some advantage. That also happened.
Yeah, really. Your Holiness life, it's like an intellectual journey from Lhasa to the modern world. Do you like to comment on that?
Oh yes. I always telling people, if I still remain in Potala, I think now 70-year-old Dalai Lama, more orthodox type of Dalai Lama. Now is and more formal Dalai Lama. Now come to India as a refugee. Other words, you see the longest guest of Indian government. I utilize fully about India's freedom with the help of Indian government. So, me personally, our last over 53 years, I think very, very meaningful life. One way, learn many things from other people, and also opportunity to share my own experience to many people. Since my childhood, I love mechanic things. I don't like formality. So now I really liberated. I really got liberation from formality.
So, as you have said that I said goodbye to traditions and I have handed off the power to to the younger generation, political power. Your life, it's like you relate science to Buddhist concepts. Quantum physics and relativity, you say that's like the Buddhist concepts, like nothingness and impermanence. So, do you really believe in science?
Of course, science based on fact through investigation. And meantime, there are also limitation. Existing modern science up to now, mainly on physical world, which you can measure, you can calculate. So spirituality, inner value is concerned, difficult to measure. So up to now, modern science mainly deal with material, physical world. Now, I think later part of 20th century, now beginning of this 21st century, now among top scientists, now they also now showing interest about inner world, especially those brain specialists or medical specialists. Now they realize emotion, mind is something very important for our life, for our health. So their knowledge about emotion, about mind, very limited. Western psychology, very limited. The ancient Indian psychology, Indian knowledge about mind, emotion is very, very rich, including Buddhism. Therefore, you see some kind of dialogue or collaboration. One casualty for us is now we no longer believe Mount Meru. we believe round world, non-existence of Mount Meru. I think in when Apollo, landing moon 69. So at that time, after a sort of picture of moon used to come out, I show some Tibetan scholars, Tibetan monk, this is moon. Then they still feel, no, impossible. Now this is some site of Mount Meru. So we have, this is Abhidhammakosha Karika, one sort of Buddhist text. You see mentioned flat world and in the center Mount Meru. Now I no longer believe that. So in publicly I told, now we Buddhists must be realistic. We must accept the reality. So the finding through experiment, through measurement, that's fact. We must accept that.
That's good. Your Holiness has said that you will choose your successor. You stand by that?
That not finalized. This year, you see, we had, although occasionally, all Tibetan Buddhist different sort of lineages had, usually we come together and talk. Now this year, we had sort of some sort of, serious discussion, and then finally we made one official statement or document. My age reached about 80, 87, 89, like that. Then we will going to have another sort of meeting. Of course, between there, of course, from time to time we gather, but around that period, my age, then one series of meeting, then we'll decide what way we should approach about my reincarnation. Another 10 years, then we'll see the situation. If we have opportunity to return, then again it's a different sort of reality. If you remain outside, another reality. Then also depend interest among Tibetan people, and not only Tibetan but also Mongolian. Dalai institution direct link with Mongolian Buddhist and the Himalayan range Buddhist.
At that time, it was surprising to hear that it can be a female too.
Yes, yes, that. Now time come, I believe, existing education system, too much sort of materialistic sort of oriented. Now education must include inner values. Inner value means human compassion, human affection. Now for that, female biologically more sensitivity about others' pain. Female have sort of more potential to practice or to show affection. Therefore, now time come, the promotion, serious effort promoting human affection in that field, female should take more active role. So that's my basis of view. So therefore, if Dalai institution should keep continuously, then next question, whether if the situation is such, the female Dalai Lama can be more useful for Buddha Dharma or for concerned people, then at that time I jokingly respond, if female Dalai Lama come, must be more attractive. Physical attraction also, you see some important, sometimes you see people very sort of the very ugly face. Some people, you see, may not happy to listen his or her word. If more attraction, then people more willing to listen.
And one last question. Will I be correct if I say that in Your Holiness Dalai Lama, there is a revolutionary who listens to the modern ideas, modern thoughts, and who is willing to implement it, to practice that.
I think you can say that. I think even Chairman Mao Zedong, 1954, 55, I was in Peking. One time, I sort of relation with Chairman Mao, very, very cordial. So one time, Chairman Mao Zedong told me, Buddha Shakyamuni was revolutionary. So at that time, existing some sort of traditions, Buddha is against that. So therefore, I think those Buddhist thinkers about Nalanda institution, I think their mind is some kind of revolutionary thinking, new things. So I'm student of Nalanda masters.
Yeah.
So have to think new way.
Yeah.
So you can you can describe revolutionary thinking, but strictly non-violent way.
Right.
Not through violence.
Yes. Thank you very much for spending your valuable time. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.